Okay, so within this question here, we're looking at a higher question on circles and area. So the question says, here's a diagram showing a rectangle, ABCD, and a circle. BC is the diameter of the circle. Calculate the percentage of the area of the rectangle that's shaded and give your answer to 1 decimal place. Now, it's important that we do give that to 1 decimal place. If we don't, we won't get all the marks. So what I've got to work out is the area of the shaded region. So the first thing I'm going to do is the area area of the rectangle. So the area of the rectangle we know is base times height, which in this case would be 19 multiplied by 16. Now this is a calculated question, so I can do 19 times 16, which is 304 centimetres squared. Okay, now that's the whole rectangle. However, I want to get rid of this part because that bit's not shaded in. That's a semicircle, so that's the area of the semicircle. So that's the next thing I need to work out, the area of the semicircle. So the area of a circle we know is pi r squared. The area of a semicircle will be half of that, so I'm just going to divide it by 2. Now, the radius of this circle. Well, I know that the full length, the diameter, would be the same as this distance. So that's going to be 16. So the radius would be half of that, which is 8. So for the area of the semicircle, I'm going to do pi times 8 squared divided by 2. So 8 squared is 64, so I've got 64 pi over 2. If I do 64 divided by 2, I've got 32 pi centimetres squared. So I've worked out there the area of the rectangle and the area of the semicircle. So I need the area of the shaded region, so that's what I'm going to do next. So the area of the shaded region would be the full rectangle, so 304 minus the semicircle, which is 32 pi. Okay, so I'm going to type that into my calculator, 304 minus 32 pi, and that gets me 203.469. Okay, and that's the area of the shaded region. Now the question's not asking for that area, it's asking for the area as a percentage of the total rectangle. Okay, so that out of the area of the total rectangle. So I'm going to do 203.469, and I'm leaving that on my calculator. So I'm just going to use that number that's there on my calculator, or I can use the answer button. So divide that by the total area, so 304, and then times it by 100, because I want it as a percentage. And then times by 100, and that gets me 66.93. So it's asking for 1 decimal place, so I've got 66.9%. So can you use that to answer this question here? Okay, so let's go through the answer to this one. So same kind of thing to start off with. The area of the rectangle would be base times height, so 15 times 12, which gets me 180. I then want the area of the semicircle, which would be pi r squared, we said divided by 2, because I only want half the circle. Now in this case, if that's 12, the radius is 6, so I've got pi times 6 squared divided by 2, which is 36 pi divided by 2, which gets me 18 pi. If I get my units on here as well. So the area of the shaded region, so let's just go over there a second. So the shaded region is 180 minus 18 pi, which gets me 123.45 and so on. So again, I want that as a percentage out of the total, so I want that out of 180. So I'm going to leave it on my calculator, divide by 180, and then times by 100, because I want it as a percentage. And that gets me 68.58, which to 1 decimal place is 68.6%.